Okay, so today is Tuesday, June 15th, 2021, and this is our Cool Tech Tips for a Hot Summer series. And today we are talking about Evernote, and we are very fortunate to have Advanced Director Lynette Couts walking us through it. So Lynette, take it over.
All right. Well, I hope everybody's cool wherever you are, because this is supposed to be cool tech tips, and it's not cool in Oklahoma. I'll just tell you right now. But I'm super excited to share with you. I kind of feel like Carol. Technology is such a huge part of our business, and I love using technology, and it's such a gift and such a way to help us do things more efficiently, such a way for us to help us save time. But at the same time, sometimes your head can just be swimming. And Evernote is one of those things that I have found that can make life a whole lot easier. So I'm going to share my screen just real quick. Can everybody see that? Thumbs up. Very good. Very good. Okay. Almost there. All right. So here's the thing. First of all, I told Carol, I'll put the full disclaimer here. I do not in any way consider myself to be an expert on Evernote or probably any technology, but I love technology and I love using it. And what I found to be true is that the more I use this particular platform, the more I love it because of so many advantages that we're going to talk about. But I want to ask you a question as we get started. Are you a person that has files for everything? Can you relate to that? Anybody? Like, I have files for absolutely everything, and I love having all of the things organized, and I see some hands. I have to kind of scroll here. Some of you are, yes, I have files for everything. Maybe you relate to this picture and you have piles for everything. Carolyn, I see you laughing. Anybody, I mean, I am not in my office. For those of you who are on director calls with me, no, this is not the background that you normally see. I am actually at the church because most of you know me well enough to know that my internet connection at my home is sometimes sketchy at best. So I felt a lot safer doing this from this location. But if we were at my office, Carol and I have had many conversations about this. And unfortunately, my desk looks a whole lot more like that than it does like this, unashamedly, and yet ashamedly to say. And it's so often that we know we have that information and we know it's there somewhere, or I heard Carol say it on a director call the other day and I took really good notes, or I heard somebody say that in a home office webinar, or it was just in a random conversation, or oh my gosh, somebody posted that on Team Roar. Now, where was that? Or somebody said that in a training, or just a random conversation, and we know that that information is there and we've heard it, but we have no idea where to find it. And if you're like me, we waste a whole heck of a lot of time looking for stuff because it's not filed in a way that not only is organized, because the file drawer that you see up there, it's so pretty. I mean, it's color coded and but if I'm looking for something by a particular word and maybe I filed it by a category, then I still wouldn't be able to find it. And that's the beauty of Evernote, is even if you are super organized, or even if you are totally not super organized, the question is, can you find things easily? And do you have all of those files at your disposal with you at all times? Because with Evernote, if you've got your smartphone, you've got your files. So what is Evernote? And this is their words a lot. Well, that was not supposed to happen. Sorry. Got to move our pictures here. See, technology, it's wonderful when it works. And there, your pictures were covering up my words. Sorry about that. So Evernote is a cross-platform app, meaning that you can use it on your computer, and you can use it on your smartphone. So unlike Jump Rope that we've been learning about, which is only on your smartphone, Evernote is on your laptop, desktop, whatever, but you can also use it on your iPad, your smartphone, that sort of thing. So it's a cross-platform app that serves many purposes. It can be your digital filing cabinet. It can be your note-taking tool. It might be your daily journal. It may be a way that you manage tasks or projects. It might be your recipe keeper, and so much more. The sky is really the limit. So this is not just limited to business. You can organize your life with Evernote if you choose to do that. Now, why Evernote? Well, one of the things that you can do that I alluded to already is you can search by word. And that is a wonderful thing, because if that word is contained in the text somewhere, even if you didn't call the file that, even if you didn't put it in that folder or that notebook, you can find what you're looking for by word. I love that. The other thing that's wonderful about this is you can file using your system. So whatever your system, whatever works for you, you can set it up that way. As I mentioned before, it's always with you. If you have this in the palm of your hand, you have access through the app to your files. The other thing that I really, really love about Evernote is that you can store multiple media in one file. So for instance, maybe you have a PDF that goes along with what you're talking about, and you have a chart, and you have a drawing, and you have a picture. Maybe you have a link to a web page or a soundbite. You can put all of those things. We can't do that in a notebook or in a file folder. You can put all of those things into one file and have it all at your fingertips, all right there organized together. The other thing that is awesome is it's easily shareable no matter how large the file is, and regardless if the recipient has Evernote. So think about, in fact, I want you, as I'm switching here so that you can see Evernote in real life, think about how many times you have a file that you would love to share, but it's like, oh, that's way too big. I can't email that. I'm going to have to Dropbox that, or I'm going to have to, I mean, anybody raise your hand have situations where that's true. And it's like, this is way too big. And then you feel like you have to jump through all of these hoops to share it, or you have to share it in pieces and parts, and it gets all discombobulated. That is an awesome thing. Whether or not the recipient has Evernote, you can share that. So let's go to Evernote. This is what Evernote looks like. And you can even customize this home page, and we won't even get into all of that. One of the things that I would tell you about this technology, and really about any technology, is don't be afraid to play. Don't be afraid to just dive in there. I tell my team this all the time. I remember when I first started using ScentShare, and we didn't have training, and I literally got in there and just got my hands on it and started, wonder what this button does. Where does this take me? Because I'm a hands-on learner, and that's the way we learn. Evernote's the same way. Don't be afraid of clicking on something and just playing. That's how you learn how to do things. So you're basically going to have a series of notebooks. Now you'll see that I don't have a whole lot of notebooks. You could get really, really even more organized than that. But contained within those notebooks, then you're going to see all of the notes. And if you go to home, you'll see the most recent notes that I have used. So this section right here will change based upon what you've used most recently. If you want to pin a note, for instance, if this is a note that you want to always come back to, then you're going to click on that note and go to the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, and you can actually choose to pin to home, and then you'll see that all the time, whether you've been there recently or not recently. My host coaching and running virtual parties for our team is a pinned note, because I use that on a daily basis. All the things are right there. This scratch pad's kind of cool because you can hop on here, and it's kind of that sticky note that you keep on your desk or on your desktop, and you have some random thought that you don't want to forget, but you're not working on that project right now. Then you can kind of dock that that random thought right here, even if it's a random thought about PC or a random thought about don't forget to add eggs to the grocery list. And then you can eventually, if you want to, convert that to a note so that you don't have to recreate, or you can completely clear the scratch pad and you start fresh all again. Let's talk about something real simple, like just creating a very simple note. So let's go to notes and let's create a new one. So on notes, you're going to hit this plus sign and we've instantly got a brand new note. Now you can get very creative with this. There are even templates that they give you if you want to work from. It can be as elaborate or as simple. And I would really challenge you to think, don't get hung up in what it looks like. Get the information there. You know, you can spend a lot of time chasing rabbits and dressing it up. You can learn those things kind of as you go. But get the information there. That's the goal of this, is to save you time, not create a whole other job for you. But you can do different colored fonts, you can do different fonts, and all of those sorts of things. So let's say, for example, that we're going to create an Evernote for National Conference. We've got National Conference coming up very soon. If I have pictures from National Conference that I have stored either on my computer or on home office, on Consultant's Corner, for instance, let's just see if we can find something. Here we go. Okay, I do a socket away for our team for National Conference, so maybe I want to remember that. I can literally drag that picture right into the Evernote, boom, it's there. And I can choose to make that, you know, a little bit smaller so that it doesn't take up that much space, or I can leave it the size that it is. You're going to go to that lower right-hand corner and you're going to just kind of pinch it in and drag it up, okay? Let's say, for example, that I want to import the schedule and I have a PDF. I can click and drag anything, but I can also tap on this plus sign right here, and that's where you're going to insert. And I can insert a divider, which is just simply a line to kind of segment. I can insert a table. I can insert a photo that way. I can insert an attachment. I can even pull from my Google Drive, and all of those files will be in there. So there are lots of things that you can dump into an Evernote file. And that's one of the things that I think makes it so efficient, is because I can have all of those things there. Something that I just recently learned that you can do is when you are surfing the web looking for ideas. For instance, I was looking this morning for motivational quotes. If I switch tabs, somebody give me a thumbs up. Can you still see my screen? Okay, perfect. I assumed that that would work, and I thought it does, but just wanted to make sure. I have downloaded what's called the Evernote Clipper. And so it's on my toolbar right here on Google. If I'm on a website that I think, wow, there's a whole lot of information here, and I might be on my Pampered Chef blog, I might be on the Pampered Chef website, it doesn't matter where it is. There's so much here, and I don't want to like take each piece and part of this. I want to be able to come back to this article later and kind of work from it. Then I can click the clipper, watch this, and I can choose Save Clip. And it will save that entire page. And it's syncing very quickly, which would not have happened at my house. Those of you that know me know. Almost there. And it will import that entire page into my Evernote, so that then I've got that to come back. Now, our pictures were in the way, so I want to show you one other thing that you you may have seen, but I wasn't able to see. So if I choose to clip it, and I can choose the whole article, I can choose just a very simplified article. But now when I come back over to Evernote, I'm going to have that in my notebook. If it saved it, I may have interrupted it, to where I can come back to that article and find all of that information all over again, and work from that information without having to piece it together. I'm trying to move quickly because our time is going so fast. So if you have questions about that, we'll come back to that. But that's kind of a little different feature, but it's one that I have found that's really neat to be able to bring things in. One of the examples that you will find is that sometimes people will share an Evernote with you, or you may be wondering, what's it going to look like if I share an Evernote with someone else? For instance, if I share an Evernote with my team, or I share an Evernote with a customer. So I'm going to give you an example. I have an Evernote that actually Jen Vecchiarelli and I were exchanging some ideas the other day, and she graciously shared this with me, and I want you to just see what happens. So this is what she shared with me. And if I choose to save the copy, then this is what's going to pop up. It's going to warn me, this note is a copy of the original, and any edits that you make will not be edited in the original. In other words, anything that I add, take away from to this will not be changed in Jen's original. And any edits that Jen makes will not be updated in this copy. And if I say continue, then I'm going to choose where I save it. But it's a wonderful way for me to have information that's shared with me. Now, if I want to collaborate on something with someone else, then I can choose to take, let's go back to that national conference. In fact, there's our 56 motivational quotes that we just pulled in. And it's all there. There's that entire article right there. And let's say that I want to, just for time's sake, let's go back to this national conference one, because there's not hardly anything in there. And I want to share that article. I'm going to click share in the upper right-hand corner. And I can either make this link shareable, and then I can share that link with you, and it would work just like what I just opened up with that file that Jen had shared with me, to where you can see it, you can edit it, but you're not going to be able to change mine, and any changes that I make are not going to appear on your end. Or I can invite you using the email, and now we can collaborate on something together, and we will see the changes back and forth. Let me give you one example as we kind of wrap up and get ready for questions, because I'm keeping an eye on time here. I said earlier, my host coaching and running virtual parties is like something that I reference all the time personally, but also this is a document that I created for our team. And so I've got very specific. All the words in red are the messages that they're going to copy and paste and send to their host. All the words in green or blue, those are actions that they're going to take. There are pictures that go along with this. So if I'm copying and pasting, I can literally copy the words, Control C or whatever your shortcut is, depending on if you're on a Mac or a PC, and send that into a message. And I can right click on the picture and copy the picture. So I literally have everything right here that I want to send to that host, or I want to post in that party. Okay. Now, when I have shared this on our team page, if they download that and add it to their own Evernote, any changes that I make will not be reflected there. However, if they just click on the link in our team page, in the guide for virtual parties that we have for our team, when I make changes to this seasonally or update it, it is changed there. So I never have to worry about our team not working from a current document, because those changes that I make in the original will be reflected in that same link. Now, that's a whole lot that we packed in a short amount of time. My question for you is this: how do you think you would use Evernote? Either for your business or just for life in general? And let me kind of make that a two-part, because I know some of you do use Evernote. What are some specific ways that you can see yourself, or you do currently use Evernote? Maybe it's host coaching, maybe it's sharing a recipe collection with your guests. What are some other ideas that we can learn from each other?
I like the drag and drop of the photos.
Yeah, Angela, so you don't have to find them where they're stored on your computer, or you don't have to store them on your computer, especially if you're out and about.
Lynette, while people are dropping their answers to your question in the chat, can I ask you a question, please, that I think will help a lot of people, and a lot of people will have this question.
Absolutely.
There is a free version of Evernote and there's a paid version of Evernote. Which are you using? And if you're using the paid, do you recommend it, or is, what are your thoughts on that?
Good question. And I have been using the paid version for a while now. So I was trying to go back and kind of refresh my memory on what's not included with the paid. I started out with the unpaid, but I started using it so much that honestly it was an issue of having storage. And I would definitely start out with the unpaid for sure. There's a lot you can do with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but it is important, especially if you're going to save party templates, for example, to Evernote, then you're probably going to want the paid version.
Exactly. And I'll be honest, I save my party templates themselves in SendShare, but I save all of the other things that go along with my party in Evernote.
All right. Does anyone have any questions about using Evernote or anything else for Lynette? While we have about 5 minutes.
Where do you get the Evernote clipper? Like, how do you add that to your toolbar?
If you go to Evernote and search Evernote Clipper, there's a place where you can like click and download, and I can find it. I don't have that right here accessible, Sylvia, and I apologize for that. It's been a while since I did that, but I'll be glad to find it and share it on Team Roar or wherever you'd like me to share it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was just a real simple download, and it magically was on my toolbar.
Okay, there's a question in the chat. You may or may not know the answer to this. Does Evernote have more training on its platform?
There are some helps, and I would have to honestly go back and look. But I know there are, as Carol always teaches us, Google is your friend, and it's true. So I definitely start there.
There could also be a Facebook group for Pampered Chef consultants that also use Evernote. I think I saw that at one point.
Okay,
You-
thanks, Linda. There's another, I just want to move this along since we only have a few minutes left. There's another question in the chat. Can you use different backgrounds within the file itself? Anyone?
You know, I've never played with the background. I mean, it
Yeah,
typically
I'm not
starts
even
with
sure why you would want to do that, but.
yeah, it typically starts with just a blank white background, but you can absolutely, you know, play with colors and that sort of thing, just like I was showing, you know, so that if you want to separate things into look for this color and that.
Yeah, and I don't want you to confuse the purpose of this. If you're wanting to really manipulate images, Canva is your better option. This is really more for creating and storing information and being able to transfer it easily to other people. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions while I scroll the chat?
Yes, I do. This is Jennifer. I have several Evernotes and really didn't know how to use it, but people have shared with me. So if I try to get organized and make little files, can those things that I have be dragged and dropped into new files?
Absolutely. That you can go to anything that you have and then put it in a notebook that you create. Again, you know, you set up your own filing system however you want. But for instance, like I said, that word search, I mean, if I'm looking for something on bookings, I can go booking and across the board, every single file that has anything with the word booking in it, whether it was shared with me or whether I created it originally, regardless of what notebook it's in, comes up.
Okay.
I don't know if
And
that-
did I understand you to say, like, if I made a document for my team and I put it like in the guides on our team page and I updated it, then they could go and download it and it would always be updated each time they downloaded it?
If they click on it and view it there, it will be updated. If they download it to their Evernote, then that becomes just a copy that's saved in their Evernote. So they're always going to want to reference it on the team page. Not that they can't download it, but it won't be current once it's downloaded into their Evernote. But the link on your team page will be.
Thank you.
Okay, and then answering Hallie's question, how does it compare to the Keep app? I mean, Lynette, you don't have the Keep app because you use Evernote, so she wouldn't know the answer to that. I would just say, Hallie, if you're happy and you find that it's working for you, don't switch. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, okay? You spend that time working on getting bookings for your business. Much better use of your time.
Okay,
All right.
thanks. I didn't know if maybe she has used the Keep app in the past and knew, but actually Keep app is confusing for me. I have tons of stuff stored there, but I need it organized better. So I'll probably download this and look into it, see.
Okay.
what's better
Okay,
for
great.
me.
We have like 1 minute left. Anybody have a last minute quick question? All right. Well, then let's give a big thank you. If you could stop sharing your screen, Lynette, you can see everyone clapping for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I'm sure you're going to want to reference the playback of this. So just as soon as I finish my day and I have time to convert it to a YouTube link, I will send it out. Okay. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday at noon Central. Bye-bye.